Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about why 4K Blu-ray still exists in 2025. Because believe it or not, 4K Blu-ray is picking up market share. It's at about 20% of the market right now. Now, what is that compared to? Compared to like 40 something percent for DVD, and compared to like, I believe Blu-ray is dropping off, so its market share for Blu-ray is dropping down. I think it's at 20, maybe even lower now. But, you know, when you look at the market share of formats, DVD is still the king because it's the cheapest to get into. Most people just want a representation of their favorite films. And those special features. There's a lot of special features on stuff that you can't get on streaming. Now, for Blu-ray, I put out a Blu-ray video, which I'll link at the end. But Blu-ray still exists because, you know, Blu-ray is something of a collector format now, and it's cheap. You can get 1080p. It upscales very well to a 4K TV. It even looks great on a HD TV if that's what you still have. It is a format that you get in cheap, and it is not the high end. It's something that you can, yeah, it was at one point the high end, but it's got a good collector market. The catalog's very good. Now with 4K, it's more expensive. But why does it still exist? It's because films are arriving at how much resolution you pull out of them. When things were shot on 35mm, I'm sure you can get up to like 6K or whatever, but you know, most films are going to top out at about 4K. I think that's pretty much the end point for home media for a lot of films. And likewise, when you have it on 4K Blu-ray, you know you're getting the best of the time, and also you're getting a lot of special features. You're getting like the whole package of what it should be. Now, it's not always great, as I've mentioned in very many videos before. Terminator 2, I believe, is a bad transfer, and that one should maybe be avoided. But likewise, that doesn't mean that the Terminator is a bad transfer. I actually quite like the Terminator, and Cameron did a good job with this. So it's kind of a hit and miss thing, you know? It's kind of like, what are you getting? There are some people who say Lord of the Rings adding that fog to show the flashbacks hurt the movie. But, you know, Peter Jackson went back and made changes to the movie to fit with the Hobbit trilogy. And likewise, also, he didn't have the original cinematographer there, who had since passed away. So Peter Jackson's changes were unopposed, you could say. So there are people who still prefer DVD for that format. But when you come to 4K Blu-ray, it looks great for Marvel movies. It looks great for high-end things that were shot with 4K in mind. Like, look at Interstellar. This would have been shot on what, 65mm and in parts in IMAX? That looks phenomenal on 4K. Let's say that. It looks phenomenal. And likewise, you know, you can also go to stuff like 2001: A Space Odyssey that was shot on 65mm film, and that will look great as well. So this is what I mean. It's for the high end. This is who 4K exists for. For collectors like myself. I definitely love collecting my 4Ks. But it's for collectors of high end. It's for people who have the sound systems, who have the OLED TVs, who want the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors. You know? I'm sure that looks great on there. I think I've watched it once. Independence Day. I'm referencing Oh no, hold on. It's Men in Black. I'm referencing Men in Black. Why did I think it was Independence Day? Men in Black. Let's get the correct film. I'm referencing Men in Black. You know, very easy to mix up two Will Smith movies. But you know, the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors. Yeah, so, okay, where was I now? Okay, so you understand what I'm saying. It will look great on a modern TV, and this is who it's for. It's for the top-end, high-end collectors who want the best. It's also for the people who just want the experience. Because you get some experiences here where it's big boxes and, you know, this is Seven Samurai on 4K. And while the Blu-ray did have a similar thing, this is probably the highest we're going to get it, and this is probably the format where this tops out. This is why high-end collectors want this stuff. Now, there are situations where some things are DNR'd, digital noise reduction. There are situations where color grades are changed. There are situations where they actually alter the core movie, because I've heard about Riddick. I haven't seen Riddick on 4K, but I have heard about it. They have edited out a slap scene where it doesn't fit with modern standards, so they've altered that movie without telling people that they've altered the movie. So people are getting very annoyed with the fact that they've shipped a copy of Riddick, but while altering the core film. This is why 4K is kind of hit or miss. It's kind of a lucky dip. But most collectors who, if you're putting time into collecting this stuff, you're doing your research months ahead of time to know what's coming out. You're seeing what tracks are on there. You're seeing if A Nightmare on Elm Street has the mono track that you like. You're seeing if Terminator 2 has the color grade that's synonymous with Terminator or whatever. You're looking at this stuff ahead of time as a high-end collector. So you know what you're getting. And for the people who don't do that, there are so many websites where you can go and get that information. You can just Google something and say, Lord of the Rings 4K transfer, and you can see a million different YouTube reviews from people like myself talking about it. This is the thing. You have to look at it as a case-by-case basis. But for the most part, it looks phenomenal. And we have to talk about HDR10. Because HDR10, I feel, is the reason why a lot of people upgrade. It makes the colors pop. Especially if you get Dolby, because it's opening up the color range. And you get like things like Dolby Atmos as well in the soundscape. You get all these little benefits that make it as close to the cinema as possible. Now, it's not as it was seen in cinemas in most cases, but it gives you an experience that rivals it. And that's what it's about. It's about experience. Not everything has to be 100% cinematic. And I still think they should make it available, Star Wars, but it's not necessarily bad to have multiple different versions of it. Just make them all available. I hear Blade Runner has multiple cuts, you know. I didn't necessarily like Blade Runner when I watched it on 4K, but I haven't watched all the cuts of Blade Runner to know which version I like, so I don't like that version, but I will need to check out other versions to understand which one I like. So this is the thing, you can pick and choose, but also with 4K, it's the high-end format. It exists because resolution is there in the TVs, the modern TVs. The colors are there with OLEDs these days, where it can take full advantage of that. And you're getting a experience. You're getting something that is rival to cinema. You can blow it up to big proportions on a projector. You know, that is why it still exists. That is why 4K is really taking off. Because as more people upgrade to a 4K TV, they will upgrade their player and say, okay, I have a PlayStation now or whatever. Most people will just have the consoles. Not everyone buys a dedicated player these days. But even with a PlayStation or an Xbox, you can put that disc in there and still enjoy a movie in really great format on your modern TV. And this is why it's taking off. It's also got to the point where it's cheaper now. It's not as expensive as it once was. Yes, in Australia, when it first drops, it might be $40. But you wait until a sale and you can probably get it for like 28 or 25 or something. Wait for a sale. And this is what I mean. A lot of people are timing it and saying, well, I could buy a $2 Blu-ray in the meantime, whatever, if on secondhand if I get it. I could go and buy it for $10 or whatever, brand new on Blu-ray. Or I could just wait until a sale and get it for like my favorite, like Superman for $20 on Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray, and just have it in the best format that I can have it already, you know? That's what I think we're looking at. I think we're looking at an era why this is taking off. It's looking at it as, okay, this is where it's going to top out. This is probably the last physical media format we're going to see in terms of a disc that's putting in a player that, you know, the old school way that we're so used to, the people who grew up with the video shops. This is the last I think we're going to get to. I don't think we're going to see 8K, even though people are saying, oh, 200 gig discs are coming. I don't think they're going to take advantage of it. I think that's for industrial. You see people like Sony pulling out of Blu-ray disc rewritables already. Like, you watch LG pull out of 4K players altogether. I don't think we're going to see an 8K resolution format. It would be cool if we get it, but I don't think we're going to see it. Unless it's something like IMAX take it on themselves and say, you know what, we're going to develop that technology for our larger films. You can see it in native 8K or whatever. That would take advantage of it. I don't think everything's going to take advantage of it. And so why 4K exists is because it's probably the top of the range for going forward. I don't think you're going to be able to beat it unless streaming comes out with something or whatever. I think it is a collector format. I believe the experience of having special features and the boxes and stuff help people to say, you know what, I don't necessarily know if I want Joker, but I want to be sold on watching Joker. So they'll look at the cover, look at the back, a masterpiece, you know, you look at all these things and say, okay, it's got some special features there too. Oh yeah, Joaquin Phoenix, you know, Arthur Fleck, okay, yeah, I want to watch this. You know, it can sell you on the movie with streaming just auto playing it in front of you. You get to choose what you want to watch, and you get to have a physical representation of something you love. We hear so much this year about Superman's coming, and people have not stopped talking about, can we get a Man of Steel 2 at least? Can we get Henry back for one more movie? We can have a physical representation of Henry Cavill's masterpiece, as so some people call it. It is a masterpiece, the trilogy. I didn't understand this movie when it first came out, but watching Nolan's overall vision as he did Batman vs Superman and then did Justice League, his version of Justice League, I understand what he was trying to do with it. So I have an appreciation for this movie now. But that's what I mean. You can have a physical representation on the best format you can get it. And going forward, it's probably going to be the top end format of that. I don't think we're going to get 8K. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we are at the point now where we're spoiled as collectors, but there are 3 distinct formats. DVD, you can collect all the standard definition stuff on, like your old TV series that was shot in 4:3. You can get your Mr. Beans on there, you know, you can get whatever. With Blu-ray, you're kind of in the middle ground, the middle child of collecting. You get your whatever, you know, most films, it has a great catalogue of movies in HD, so you get the HD quality, but you can find most of your favorites on Blu-ray or DVD. And then 4K is more for the high end. They're still releasing stuff on 4K. It's where the industry is at the moment. And you can still get all your favorites on that. Like, I can go through here and look at everything and be like, okay, when Smokey and the Bandit 2 comes out, if they do that, I'll have to add that. I'll have to add Sonic 3 to here. Like, there are so many things that I need to add to the collection, and I'm constantly analyzing, how do I do this in a realistic and responsible way? Like, obviously, I'm trying this year to keep everything to one page in my books. I've showed them many times. And while we're here, we're just going to do a quick look at that book, because I know a lot of people have asked about that book. But, you know, I do keep records, and I do try to keep track to spend responsibly. Like, I do spend responsibly. I keep track of every cost. And for people who wonder how my lists look, how do I do it? I just come up with a template in Microsoft Word. I could do it in Excel, but I find Microsoft Word works better. And I just put things on here like title, price and post, like, because sometimes I get things posted to me. But price, I have the price there. I put the store I buy it at, the time I bought it, and the date I bought it. And also the number. In case of, I don't keep numbers with 4K, with 4K, with Blu-ray or DVD. But in terms of writing down on here a cost, I keep numbers in terms of, okay, this is number entry 960 or whatever for 4K. I will keep track of that just so I can keep an accurate number of my 4K collection, and I can spend responsibly. I can do a accountability practice at the end of the year saying, how much did I spend this year? Did I spend too much? Do I need to analyze? Do I need to make some cuts? Do I need to avoid certain shops? There is certain things that I look at the end of each year. And this is the thing, collecting responsibly. That's something that I think a lot of 4K collectors can do. They might just want to get Man of Steel, and they can get that pretty cheap now because, you know, DC movies have went down and 4K has went down as a format in terms of costs. Like, obviously brand new, you're paying a brand new price, but you can still get all your favorites. And I like 4K because it does complement my screen. I will show my setup at some point. It's not good enough to show right now. There's nothing really special. It's just a LG OLED 65-inch UB820. I will show it at some point, though. In fact, no, I have showed it at one point. I did it on the PlayStation video on my Instagram. So, guys, if you want to see what that setup looks like, I showed part of it on that video. Go and look at that. You should be following that Instagram. But, you know, this is the thing. I love 4K as a format because it complements everything that I have, my setup. And that's what you need to look at. If Blu-ray complements your setup, stick with Blu-ray. If DVD complements your setup, if you have a CRT or whatever, stick with DVD. It's all about, it's all perspective thing. It's all like, what's your perspective on it? Do you like what you're watching or do you not like? Could it be better if you had a HD version? Could it be better if you had a 4K version? I've watched multiple formats and I like multiple different versions of movies. So I have multiple different versions of certain things. But also I don't have everything and I don't want to collect everything. And that's why I do it responsibly. So yeah, hopefully that's everything you need to know about why 4K Blu-ray still exists. I'm sure I've missed a couple of things, and if I've missed a couple of things, jump down in the comments, leave a comment down there and let me know. Like, subscribe, drop a comment, follow that Instagram. I am posting as much as possible on there now. Might not be daily, but I can try to do more and more. And watch one of these videos here. You might like these two. Up here, I'll put the, what's it called? I'll put the Blu-ray cost video right here. Not the cost video, the Blu-ray video of why Blu-ray still exists. And down here, I'll put DVD. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you watched one of them, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.